Hey, yo, what it do? Y'all already know what time it is, man. Listen, I hope that y'all had a really, really incredible, happy Thanksgiving. Man, I didn't get an opportunity to make it out to my hometown this year to spend it with my family, but I still had an incredible time. I actually stayed back and cooked my own Thanksgiving dinner. And it was pretty tasty. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to drop some clips in here so y'all can see it. Up, there it go. Yeah, I peeled my potatoes. Man, I was making some cornbread dressing that was just, you know what I'm saying? I had to saute my onions and my bell peppers and my celery. Man, I wish y'all could just smell everything that was going on in the kitchen, man. I mean, everything turned out amazing. Shout out to my girl. We was in the kitchen whipping it together, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, we got to spend Thanksgiving together. This is our first Thanksgiving together where we're not around everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool to just, kick it, enjoy each other's company, and do dinner. You know what I'm saying? After sending pictures and stuff to my family, they done already signed us up for Christmas dinner. So needless to say, we going to be running the playback next month. So this is me inviting y'all to come eat dinner with me and my family. It's going to be a good time. But yeah, man, really had a dope time. I know the holidays sometimes can really be a hard time for different people just for various reasons. But a lot of times it be a whole lot of family issues going on, And one of the things that my grandfather told me before he passed away, this is literally the last conversation I had with him. And he was just saying, Ebony, thank you for always making the holidays feel like the holidays. And I always sit and reflect on that because I think that's probably one of the best compliments somebody can give you. If you really think about what the holidays are supposed to feel like, it's about togetherness. You know what I'm saying? It's about setting the atmosphere to, really we enjoying each other's company. We might be laughing, reminiscing over some old things or just reminiscing and reflecting on life. But it's just I don't know how a lot of y'all grew up, but I know for me growing up, the holidays were always something special because it's it's the opportunity to get around family members that you ain't seen in a while, meet your uncle new girlfriends and, guess who's coming to dinner. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, as you get older, people start having kids, getting married, and, it just starts feeling like a different experience because as people begin to, have their families, they start to create their own traditions, which you should do. So I really do enjoy, the holidays, and I enjoy making the holidays feel like the holidays. I think as I've gotten older, that's probably one of the things I missed about just gatherings, what it really feels like to everybody just come in and unplug. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody on their phones, but we actually interacting with each other, not out of obligation, but because I want to know what you up to. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to support whatever it is that you're doing and, just all of that. So I'm really as y'all get to know me, man, y'all learn I'm really into vibes. You know what I'm saying? One of my top love language is quality time. And so not just from a romantic standpoint, but that's life for me. I really, really, really enjoy quality time. So it was important to me, and it has always been important to me, to just be, set the vibes. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things that people really enjoy about me is just being around me. You know what I'm saying? We gonna vibe, we gonna have a good time, we gonna eat well, we gonna laugh, we gonna dance, and it's gonna be a good time. But man, listen, I ain't even gonna hold you, man. It was almost a perfect Thanksgiving until I got triggered. Man, let me tell y'all something. I was sitting here in the middle of my card game, right? Y'all already know we got to get on a card table. Anytime we get together, there's a card table to be had. You feel me? So I'm on the card table playing gin, and man, my phone ring. It's a family member, and all of a sudden, I went from having a good time, watching Jingle All the Way. That's a 90s Christmas classics for y'all that don't know. Some of y'all not seasoned, and that's okay. We're gonna get y'all seasoned here. But Jingle All the Way is who is that? Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he's like the Turbo Man or something like that. But man, I when I tell you I was having a really, really good day, man. And one of my family members called, and this particular family member, I'm not going to say no names, but it's like me and this person have had an up and down relationship for as long as I can remember. And, some days we good, some days we not. So we just real distant, right? And so next thing I know, like I get on the phone with this person. Next thing I know, man, probably 10 minutes ain't even went by, and I done went from 0 to 100. I'm talking about cussing, fussing. I'm up, got hand signals going on, and just carrying on, man. And that conversation probably lasted about 30, 45 minutes. And by the end of it, I had paused, and I was like, dang, I failed again. Y'all, this is one of those tests that I feel like I constantly keep failing. And it's like, I done watched all the sermons from Transformation Church. And, they be dropping gems and stuff. And I done read the Boundaries book, and just everything that I had been learning and like working on. All of that stuff went out the window when I started having this conversation. And I really, really felt bad. I'm talking about I actually got really upset with myself, because it was just like I forgot to do one of the most important things that they taught us to do, which was pause before you respond. Like anytime for me, like when I get in that mode, I'm no longer present. I'm like the conversation that we was having really like it triggered the teenage version of me. You know what I'm saying? And it felt like it also triggered the version of me that felt like I wasn't protected. And so I had to stand up for myself, because it made me feel like I was being bullied all over again. You know what I'm saying? I was being taken advantage of all over again. And it's just like, it wasn't, I just started feeling like that heat rise in my chest. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was just like, how when you look at your car and on your dashboard, when, maybe you need to get, get an oil change, or, check your tire pressure, or just whatever. Like there are certain things that light up on your dashboard that indicate, hey, check me out. There's an issue. Man, I feel like all my signals and stuff was lighting up on my dashboard, but I was already overheating. You know what I'm saying? I was mindless at that point. And it was like, I was mindless because I started, it's almost like my mind going to replaying old stuff that happened in the past that was never resolved. You know what I'm saying? And so I really felt bad that this, had happened. Because I just, I've been working on myself. I've been working on my grown woman real hard. And, I just felt like everything that I had learned just truly, truly, truly went out the window. And, it bothered me. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, pausing before you respond is important, because it's like, okay, so when you're in the moment, right, your trigger moves faster than your logic. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like before you know it, you already turned up. You know what I'm saying? You already like, hey, we done pressed the gas. Now we 0 to 100. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, for me, in that moment, as I'm like zooming down, I just see flashes of different moments in my life where, with this particular person, I didn't had to, what I'm saying, defend myself against them. You know what I'm saying? And so it amplifies me even more versus just taking a beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, really just trying to figure out, first of all, what is this conversation even about? You know what I'm saying? What, it's like, if you pause, that's the difference between reacting from trauma and responding from truth. And the pause is also the difference between fighting battles you already outgrew and choosing peace because you finally know your worth. Anytime I have these battles, man, that's what makes me upset. It's the fact that I did step out of my peace zone. You know what I'm saying? It be principle for me. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm like, it be situations that don't even matter anymore. But the thing about, one thing that I'll say about like not pausing and, your past being brought up, sometimes we don't want to deal with our past, but it's like, we need to deal with our past so that way, whenever it gets brought up, it doesn't make us uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? And so there were a few things that was brought up that I hadn't thought about in ages. Some of the stuff I don't even remember. And it was like the person was trying to fault me for not remembering. And it's just like, if I don't remember, I don't remember. But it's like, what is this about? You know what I'm saying? Like this, why are you calling me with this? And so it really got the best of me. And I actually want to, while I'm on air right now, I want to apologize to that particular family member. I should have never allowed the conversation to even escalate to the point where I'm cussing you out. I'm hanging up the phone on you. I'm basically giving you a version of me that truly no longer exists. You know what I'm saying? And so I have to remember to keep my emotions in control, keep myself in control. And so I apologize for just even reacting like that. You know what I'm saying? And, I pray that God continues to heal both of our hearts in the spaces where we have been hurt and where situations have numbed us. And, I definitely pray for peace. I pray for healing. I pray for growth. And I just pray for restoration. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what I want to say about that. But it's like, sometimes I felt like the pause means like, okay, like it's a sign of weakness. You know how it is, like when somebody like coming at you and it's like, boom, you don't do nothing about it. So it's like, oh, so, like, dang, like that's a sign of weakness. And it's like, nah, like it's a sign of control. You have to learn how to control yourself. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the things I actually learned when I was in Taekwondo. Fun fact, I used to take Taekwondo when I was a kid and I loved it. But that was one of the things that they taught us was about like discipline and control and like just, you can't be out here fighting and all of that, especially knowing Taekwondo, because it's like, you could kill somebody. You know what I mean? So it's like they taught us to really have self-control, like there was never a time when it was okay, to do certain things unless you are defending yourself. And even that, you still can't take it too far. You know what I'm saying? So the techniques that we learned was never about just doing it to be doing it in terms of, oh, I get to just pull these out whenever I feel like it. Like, nah, that's not what that's about. You know what I'm saying? But the pause is telling you your nervous system, we are safe and we do not have to go back there. Most people think healing means you never get triggered anymore. And I feel like that's me. I feel like, okay, well, I'm healed, so that shouldn't bother me anymore. And it's like, nah, the healing means that you recognize the trigger faster and you choose not to let it run you. You feel what I'm saying? And so it's like, I remember sitting there that night And I was just feeling bad. Like, man, I really messed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my situation, like, I reacted too fast. You know what I'm saying? I didn't pause. And I just went straight to defending myself, explaining myself, and fighting a battle that was rooted in childhood patterns. You feel what I'm saying? And so later on, I realized all I needed to do was just pause, breathe, have a moment with God. Like, yo, listen, SOS. You know what I'm saying? And so I remember sitting there. I felt like I was reliving my cycle. And the cycle that I'm referring to is in the Bible, right? I believe it's the Israelites, their journey to the promised land. That journey was supposed to be 11 days, and it turned into 40 years. And so, I've been talking about that lately, like amongst my friends and associates. And, I had asked the question, I wonder, what cycle am I constantly repeating? You know what I'm saying? What cycle was supposed to already be over, and here I am having to repeat it. And as I thought about that, I sat there and I actually cried. You know what I'm saying? My eyes started tearing up because I'm just like, man, here I am. I have to start over, And my girl, she was just like, actually, you don't have to start over, as in like, you have to start all the way over. You can start right here and choose a different path right now. You know what I'm saying? And so as she pouring into me, I started thinking like, yeah, you know what? I didn't catch the pause before the crash out, right? But how I'm moving forward is, okay, let me apologize to this person. Let me tell this person where my triggers were. And let me also place a boundary moving forward where it's like, okay, when this starts to happen, I have to remove myself. You feel what I'm saying? And so I was able to like shoot that person a message that same night, just, just expressing how I felt and things like that. And I just left it where it was. You know what I'm saying? I didn't wait for them to apologize. I didn't wait for them to, it wasn't about them. It was about me. You know what I'm saying? And it was about me turning. It was about me making sure, hey, I don't keep getting hemmed up at this same stop. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, like that was my Thanksgiving, man. I'm really still learning, like, just the art of pausing, and I say it's an art because it's so powerful, it's so meaningful. It's so necessary, and it's like once you start doing it and you remember to do it, even in the middle of stuff going crazy, just pause, just breathe. And like, ask yourself, like, where's this conversation going? You know what I'm saying? Like, and make sure that you got your boundaries in place for that person in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, things can just escalate really, really quickly, man. Really quickly. And so, I actually wrote an article about it this week. If you're not on Medium, head over to medium.com right now. Look me up, Nay Liggins. That's NAYELIGGINES. And read my article, man. It's called Triggered. Yeah, like, I pretty much wrote about the experience, and I dropped 7 gems in there that'll kind of help you. Well, it's helping me because this is my plan moving forward. And maybe, maybe you felt triggered, especially around the holidays. And you might not have a game plan on what to do before you get triggered. These 7 gems will help you. So definitely check it out, man. Like I said, it's on medium.com right now. Look me up, Nay Liggins. And I got a few more articles on there that's going to be a good read. So definitely check those out, man. Before I get out of here, I really want to give a shout out to everybody around the world that's been tuning in, man. I mean, we global at this point, y'all. So shout out to all the dream chasers. Shout out to everybody that's executing. Shout out to everybody that's trying to get their walk right with God. Just shout out to everybody that's just living life, man. I had one of the people who listened to my podcast, the last episode on my podcast, and they had asked me, you know, how did you get to a point to where you are trusting God? Like, and for me, it's been my encounters with God, man. Like, there's been different situations that I have experienced. And I know for a fact I was not walking by myself. I know for a fact that it was nobody but God that made sure that I was able to, you know what I'm saying, have victory over that situation, you know. And sometimes having victory doesn't always look the way you want it to look. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes having victory means you do get to walk away. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes victory looks like getting laid off so that you can focus on the things that God has called you to do. You know what I mean? So victories can look different in every different situation, man. But yeah, I'm going to speak more on that on my next podcast, just talking about just some of my encounters and how I got to the point where, you know, just I learned how to trust God and what that actually looked like. I want to shout out specifically just all the different, wherever everybody is listening from, man. I got my list pulled up. So we got Georgia, Texas, Minnesota, Washington, Maryland, Virginia, Tennessee, Colorado, Oregon, Illinois, Florida, Michigan, Nebraska, Pennsylvania. That's just my United States area, man. Listen, we also got people from Canada checking in, Russia, the UK, South Africa, what it do, India, Poland. Hey, man, listen, I really do appreciate everybody just tuning in, man. This is a really super big deal for me because, as y'all know, God told me, man, I was going to be an author and I was going to be a speaker. And I was like, who, me? Nah, get somebody else to do it. You know what I'm saying? But man, starting this podcast a few years ago, and actually this is the most consistent I've been, as y'all been noticing. I've been dropping episodes every week. And, you know, I'm just enjoying being on the mic, telling my stories, people getting fed, man, people faith building up, people getting their own relationship with God, man. Like, that's what it's all about, man. Like, really just walking in purpose and, you know, putting your best foot forward every day, man. I think a lot of times people think this walk with God is supposed to be perfect and you ain't going to experience trial and tribulations and all of that. And it's like, nah, you are sadly mistaken. You feel me? Like, I think because when you do, you know, start walking with God and just really getting more engulfed, it feels like there's a target on you. You know what I'm saying? Spiritual warfare is very present. You hear me? So I really do enjoy just walking through it, man, you know, knowing that victory is mine. Victory today is mine. You hear me? Man, I ain't even finna get into it, but just know, man, you are not alone. God is walking with you in every situation, even when it don't seem like it, even when the circumstances don't seem like it's changing. I was asking God earlier today, Lord, why are you holding up my financial situation? What is it that you want me to learn? What opportunities are you working on in the background? Lord, show me how good it can get right now. Send multi-million-dollar clients to me that need help with execution and ideas and this, that, and the third. Like, you have to get specific with your prayers. You feel what I'm saying? I'm going to talk about that next week, but just know, until then, set it up and run it up per usual. I love all of y'all. And yeah. Keep checking me out. Keep sharing this. Keep sending it to people that need it. And look me up on Instagram, Nate Liggins. Check out my YouTube channel if you're on YouTube, Nate the Gem Dropper. I'm all over the place, man. Just check me out. Let's go.